guys. Okay, so I'm headed to go for a run because it's really pretty out, and I want to take advantage of the cooler weather here in Houston. But I have some things that I'm just trying to understand regarding a conversation that I just had not too long ago about marriage, and I'm recently divorced, and I'm just trying to understand the dating market out here. And they were inquiring about, life is different now. Of course, we're not doing any type of, no one's getting married, basically. No one's doing that anymore. You're gonna have to conform to the way society is moving now. And I was confused because I'm trying to understand why all of a sudden marriage is irrelevant when the laws of this land solely operate on that institution. So much so that they've now allowed same-sex marriages because they understand the benefits that come with an actual marriage that are not granted if you are not viewed as a person's partner or life spouse or whatever we want to call it, which is in marriage. So I'm trying to understand this, and they're explaining the fact that it's just a piece of paper. It's not something that is required for you to be able to live together or for you to be able to function as in a relationship. And rightly so, you really don't need that to live together or anything. But let me understand this. There's only a few states that actually recognize same-sex, I'm sorry, not same-sex, common law marriage, meaning marriage by just living and cohabitating or just saying that you're married with another person. There's only a few states that do that. Now, Texas happens to be one of those states, but there's only so many benefits, and it's not all encompassing. So if you were to get sick or you get into a serious accident of some sort, that person that you're living with or that you're claiming is your common law spouse, they don't get they're not readily granted rights to speak on your behalf at the hospital. They don't get benefits to, if you happen to pass away, they don't get any benefits to have a say on how you're buried, what your wishes would have been, any of that. It automatically goes to your family. It goes to your next of kin, or if you have children maybe that are of age, it would go to them to handle all of that. You don't get that just as a common law spouse. Like, a lot of guys, I think, are getting it confused that you can just do that in the US of A. Now, I don't know, I can't speak for other countries, and it still be looked at as you're married. You're not. There's a reason that everything we do in this country requires some type of paperwork. Whether it's buying a house, you need paperwork for that. Whether you get an engagement ring and you want insurance on it, if it's a real diamond, there's paperwork that comes with that to solidify this is a genuine, cut, clarity, whatever stone that you can insure for a certain amount of money that has value. If you buy a car, you cannot drive off that lot without the paperwork stating that you now have this contract for this lease or this contract for this purchase of this vehicle. Everything. You can't rent an apartment without, you can't go to school without paperwork. I'm trying to understand why legal acknowledgement that you are in a union with someone is all of a sudden where people draw the line as to, this doesn't make sense. This is not, it's completely baffling to me that we've gotten to this point in society. And in the conversation, I was explaining that, and they were slowly kind of understanding, but then they were still just kind of, no, but you can go and get, they were saying you can go and get power of attorneys and things if you just want to have someone to be able to, have the benefits of that. But this is the thing. Why would you go get power of attorney for multiple aspects of your life that you want them to have a say in. Those things cost at least $100 to $200 a piece, not including whatever the attorney might charge you to actually file it. Now, if you do it yourself, I think about $100 to $200. I had to do one with my dad before when he was going through his divorce, and needed me to take over some of his household payments and bills that he needed to keep up because he went to jail for a little period of time. Yeah, it was crazy. So I'm familiar somewhat with that. You do have to do a lot of paperwork for that. But you literally would have to do a power of attorney for each thing that you want them to have rights over. So your medical rights, you would need a power of attorney for that. Any real estate or home rights, you would need a power of attorney for that. Are you seeing what I'm saying? If you want them to have a power of attorney over vehicles or anything of that nature, these are things you negotiate. Your insurance, death, you would need. I feel like you're getting where I'm going as far as that amount of money would add up. Do you know how much it costs for a freaking marriage license that literally encompasses all of that? That says, oh, this person is my spouse, my legal spouse. This person would be the next of kin on my family tree that I would want to handle anything in my household. Literally. You know what that would cost? Anywhere between like $80, $85, I think I remember. Listen, I had a marriage license back in 2010, so I don't know what the going rate is now, but I think it's somewhere around that. That much, that's a one-time fee. So you think it makes sense to go spend upwards of $400, $500, whatever plus dollars to get all of these powers of attorneys just to circumvent saying you legally are married instead of just getting one document? I just make the logic make sense. The math ain't mathing over here in my mind. It's just not mathing. So I'm confused. It literally baffles me, all of the arguments that people are doing to refute something that is age old, that this country literally operates on. I'm not understanding it. It feels like there's this sabotage of family, and I don't like it. It's so ridiculous. Just do it. If you just don't want to be spiritually and legally bound to someone, in the eyes of God, I guess, because that's what marriage to me institutes before it is looked at in the eyes of the law, it's still under God first and foremost. If you don't want that, you're literally inviting the government, the state, into your life by just moving in with someone and allowing them to live with you. You're not going to get out of it either way. The moment y'all get into it, or y'all decide y'all don't want to be together anymore, and this person is living with you forever, for even 2 months, even 3 months, and they have their address changed to your address, they're receiving mail possibly at your address, you now automatically have invited the legal system into your relationship, whether you've acknowledged y'all are married or not. Because now you would have to legally get a court order or some type of lawyer to help you get them out of your house if you decide to kick them out. Or apartment. They don't have to be on your lease. They don't have to be on anything. They don't have to be on the deed. They just have to have proof that they have been living there with you for however long they've been receiving mail there. So now you're spending money to get someone out of your house that you ain't even married to, that you legally claim this ain't my wife. That is so ridiculous. Why do you guys look at things so one-sided? You need to consider all aspects of it. It's just very confusing to me. So, I don't know. That was my little rant, because it was really bothering me that people still have these discussions and these talking points that they have not really looked into at all. And maybe I've gotten some things wrong because I've been married for so long, but I just don't get it. There's reasons. There's always reasons for things to be put in place. And until you guys get out of this hurt mentality and this blinded view of what you think things are put in place for, no one's gonna get anywhere at all. But let me get my tail out here and try to get some vitamin D and chase these endorphins so that I can enjoy the rest of my day. But I wanted to get that off my chest kinda and just see what anybody else thinks, because this whole notion of not needing to be married, you're not going to build a legacy. You're not going to build any type of solid family without that in place. You're just not. I don't see it happening. I mean, I guess you can pretend like, I mean, if you're okay with all those different types of paperworks that need to be in place to try to keep something solidified, great, go for it. But to me, it's silly. It's very silly and it's unnecessary. So yeah, let me know what y'all think, because I'm just so baffled and confused on how people are out here operating and thinking. And that was definitely on my heart. So I will be dropping another one sometime this week. But yeah, give me your thoughts. All right, guys.